Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's watch party for In Search of Tomorrow for the 1985 classic Real Genius. And we're going to have a great time tonight. As always, I'm Andrew, and I'm joined again by Dom. Hello, Dom.
Hello, Andrew and everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and this time it won't be extra, unfortunately.
It won't be extra. Cope. Well, this is kind of the reverse of last week a bit, because I went into Extra deliberately blind, having never seen it, and a film you knew very well. And now we're going the other way around. You're going into Real Genius, never having seen it before, and it being a film I particularly like. So it's the whole thing, introducing friends to films. I can see we've got a load of our great friends in the community joining us in our new Discord server, the Creator VC Discord. I can see we've got James Hellier, we've got Mad Matt, we've got Icy Matty, we've got Eric, we've got Sharon, we've got Onzi, we've got Sparky John. And I can see James also joining us on YouTube. So this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. So as we normally say to Edward the Black Prince has just joined us as well. Welcome, Edward. So everybody, the sync point for tonight's film is just before the TriStar horse logo starts to appear. I think all releases appear to have this. Let's just press play at the beginning when we get going. So Dom, how have you not seen this film?
I think as a young'un, I unfortunately saw Baby Geniuses, and because of that, I was afraid of anything with the word genius in the title. Because it's a single word and genius, admittedly, I keep having to stop myself from saying Baby Genius instead of Real Genius.
I think, to be fair, if you lived in the UK like me, well, I mean, we both grew up in the UK, this wasn't a big film in the UK at all. It really didn't have much traction here. Brainwire's joining us as well. Hello, Brainwire. Icy Matty's asking, where do we start? Just before the TriStar logo fades in, so literally at the beginning of it. So if you get there and get paused. Yes, so Real Genius, I believe, didn't have much of a release in the UK. It was obviously released, but it didn't make any inroads here, which is a real shame. I think it's a better film than Revenge of the Nerds. We will say. It's a bit science fiction-y, and it's not as mean-spirited as Revenge of the Nerds is in parts. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. So if everyone wants to get ready to press play, we'll start the countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press play. And also, just to say to everyone listening, this film has a fantastic soundtrack. I know Sharon's a big fan of this film, as is Carla, who I'm sure is, well, she's not in our chat tonight, but I'm sure she's joining us watching in at home on the watch party. And this is a big favorite of hers. It's a lot of fun. So while we're going through the credits, which are, I will be fair, they are a little, but just watching cave drawings for a few minutes. One thing I do want to speak about with you guys is, I'm not sure if you're aware, we've got the Nightmare Industry project that we're just currently getting underway at the moment, which is going to be a documentary on Italian horror. So if you go to the Creator VC socials, you'll see lots of posts about this. And we can actually, we're looking for your help, basically, to take surveys, etc., looking for your opinions. And yeah, there's a Q&A. You can see the trailer on our YouTube channel, and I'll just post it into our socials, if you bear with me. There we go, that's the Creator VC survey. And there we go.
Yes, if you feel like there wasn't enough Italian horror in Search of Darkness 1 or 2, this should scratch that itch for you. It is all about the industry, all about Italian horror. It's everything giallo and in between.
Sharon's saying Revenge of the Nerds was filmed at the U of A in Tucson, Arizona, my alma mater. James, you're right. Yeah, it does have William Atherton, 80s cinema's favorite asshole, who of course played the reporter in Die Hard 1 and 2, who got punched out in the movies. Well, tased in the second one, didn't he? He got tased in the plane toilet.
I think he got tased and punched. I can't remember Die Hard 2 that well.
Might have been both. And of course, he played Walter Peck in Ghostbusters. So it's quite a light-hearted sci-fi film. This is a sci-fi comedy.
Light-hearted. The credits were all about human developing weaponry.
Weapons. That's right. But this is actually, as for all the comedy in this, for the era this was, a lot of the stuff in this film is quite close to sort of reality and the weapon ideas at the time. This is around the time of the Star Wars project. It's talking about weapons in the sky that can kill people from space.
Yep, we all need that in our life. The fear of being struck down by lasers from the sky. We already have one deadly laser in the sky that, especially in my home of Las Vegas, will frazzle you if you don't be careful. We don't need more. Oh, can you imagine if this technology was developed? How is he so nonchalant?
You'll see why. It's a promo reel created to get the funding for the project.
Yeah, it's like Paul Verhoeven-esque. I'd buy that for $1 kind of stuff. All right, I'm on board already.
Exactly. As Sharon's saying, this movie came out when we were living through the Cold War tensions or high at times. So this does play into the fears. And it does in a way. That you can bet that there would have been conversations very much like this going on, especially in the American government around this time, of the idea of space weapons. I mean, the whole thing with the Star Wars project was Ronald Reagan saw Star Wars and wanted to know about having basically a Death Star laser in the sky that could shoot people.
It's concerning that someone would watch Star Wars and be like, ah, yeah, the bad guys. I want to be more like that.
Well, don't forget as well that in the film Air Force One, the plane is seen to have an escape pod for the president.
Yeah.
Air Force One will, of course, be classified. They won't confirm or deny if it exists, the escape pod. But apparently, a past president has said, "Look into that." So that's on the wider thing, Dom. That's the thing about In Search of Tomorrow. It really is that the real world gets its ideas from fiction.
Reality imitates art. Yeah,
it really does.
We always say it's the other way around, but in reality, it isn't.
Yeah, but then again, think of it this way: I mentioned I think on a previous watch party, a guy called Martin Cooper was the inventor of the first sort of cellular portable phone, and he basically he said in public he copied Captain Kirk's communicator from Star Trek. It's the idea behind it.
There you go. At least Star Trek in the early days was a future that was hopeful.
Not necessarily, because there was always supposed to be the eugenics war, which is supposed to take place about now. This terrible nuclear war that basically killed most of the planet.
Was that hamster just, oh no, learning that Peck is a left-hander like me hurts. It hurts our reputation. But yeah, was that hamster just being given alcohol?
That's right. They're testing alcohol on hamsters.
Oh, wait, this is a real thing. Hamsters can take more alcohol. Is it hamsters or rats? There is some rodent that can take more alcohol than others by a substantial amount. Oh God, he just oozes slime, doesn't he?
His family are baffled by everything he says. I will say, if you like William Atherton, you get a lot more William Atherton in this than you do in Ghostbusters or Die Hard.
You just love to hate him.
Hmm.
His grave's gonna have dislikes inscribed on it, says Sparky John. I can imagine that. It's such a shame. I bet he's such a nice guy, because often people who play these kind of roles are the exact opposite.
Well, you can tell this is definitely a proper 80s movie. Everyone appears to be drinking Coca-Cola being dished out from that Coca-Cola cart and Coca-Cola cups.
Ah, yes. Either Coca-Cola or Pepsi. Oh, the diet craze really came in like the late 80s, early 90s, didn't it?
Well, actually, no. I think this would be... I need to check the year on this.
Oh, when Diet Coke came out, you mean?
No. Ah, yes, I thought it was. If you look, some of the Coca-Cola cups they're drinking out of have a grey stripe on them. So Calbot got it. There we go. Calbot got it. New Coke. This would have been the marketing. Because of 1985, this would have been the New Coke marketing.
Not New Coke.
Yeah.
So truly a trendsetter. His fashion has permeated into reality and exists in today's public.
I would say very much, if you look at his kind of outfit, aside from the deedly boppers on his head, it's a very almost like a Doctor Who inspired outfit.
Yeah.
Which, again, I can imagine this would be an influence on films like that.
It's the kind of wit I aspire to have.
Yes. You can see with this character, he plays him so well because he's so intelligent. You can tell he's operating on another level to everyone. And he's quite rude, really, because he's looking down on everyone right now.
Yeah, of course. Because when you're that smart, no matter how smart other people think they are, they're beneath you. Don't disrespect the Iceman.
That's right.
So at what point are we going to stretch that Top Gun is a science fiction movie and put it on an ice?
I don't think I can make that reach. However, Mad Matt's got a point. He's posted a picture of Willow, so
yeah.
I might have to say we will be maybe seeing him later, Val Kilmer later again this year.
Willow is a lovely film.
It is. I'm down with it. I'm cool with the kids.
Ah, hello, fellow kids. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the cult of fraternities.
Yeah.
Imagine if this was your introduction to University.
I never went to university. I've never had to share a room with anyone. I mean, I share a room with my wife at home now, but I've never had to share a room like living together like that.
It's horrifying.
And this is brilliant. See this strange older man just walk into the wardrobe and disappear.
My university experience wasn't quite that surreal, but it was not a pleasant experience. Defeats the purpose of having changed your pockets, doesn't it? If you can't have pockets to have change in.
I quite like this drone he's built that we see now.
Yeah. Ah, yes, food fight.
I don't think quite that one would fly. I mean, now we've got some things to it, but it's very cool. Like a gyroscopic drone he's built.
I would love to see the behind the scenes of the person with the fishing rope, just taking it all around. A landing problem.
Yeah. So, Dom, we're 15 minutes into this. What are your initial thoughts?
I'm enjoying it tremendously. It's got a lot of fun. It's quite dry. That's my type of humor. And although the concept itself, the plot hasn't unveiled itself to me, I'm struck by the characters. I want to know more about them.
Mm-hmm. Sharon's saying, what a charming house. Yes.
Yeah, charming little place. Just
with a dog the size of a horse.
That just walks by. I do feel sorry for this. Yeah, Icy Matty Scoob. It was.
Well, I don't know if it's Scoob. I'd say Marmaduke.
They're both Great Danes, aren't they?
Yeah. And now we meet the film's assholes.
Yeah, university nerds are always assholes. Does he have an ascot? Oh no, wait, does he? I can't tell.
I think he's wearing an ascot, yes. This character very much appears to think he's above everyone else, dresses kind of posh.
Name one person who routinely wears an ascot who's not an asshole.
Very true.
The only person I'm thinking of is Fred from Scooby-Doo, now that Scooby-Doo's in my head.
Jerry is so cutting. Oh, he's so cutting of Kent through this film.
You don't get to use my first name.
The best way to describe Kent's character is he describes himself as assistant manager, but he's not assistant manager. He's assistant to the manager.
Yes, assistant to the manager. Up the voltage. He can't do anything right. Yes, I love a good pun. That's a terrible pun, but I'll allow it. Duplication duty.
He's his PA, basically.
Yeah.
Pick up my dry cleaning and do some photocopying for me. Oof. And this 14-year-old is now your boss. Off
yes. To Jerry.
Oh, we've got a Ouija board on the wardrobe wall there.
Oh, there you go. How else are ghosts going to knock?
Some of this amazing 80s soundtrack to this film. This is just such a cool thing to do. No pun intended.
Ever since I watched that Tom and Jerry cartoon where everything gets flooded in the kitchen and gets frozen over, I wanted to do something like this.
Yeah. This is where you see it's the difference from like the Revenge of the Nerds type thing. It's not, they are nerdy, whatever. There's no bullying going on for the most part. And it's just having fun.
Just fun.
Yeah. His cherries the size
yeah. Giant cherry.
Oh.
There you go, Cal, that's got it. That's the cartoon I was talking about.
And speaking of Revenge of the Nerds, we're seeing Michelle Mayrink here playing Jordan, who also famously played Judy, the lead character's girlfriend, in Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, one thing this film is a bit ahead of its time is it accurately portrays, maybe somewhat to an extreme, people with sort of things like autism or Asperger's or that kind of behavioral conditions. And it shows that they are still fully fledged, functional, fun people.
Yeah.
So
everyone has their quirks.
Yeah, it's quite ahead of its time in that way.
It is very pleasant to go back and see movies that treat individuals like people instead of having a character that is just this characteristic and that is their character. Like this is the fat kid or this is the douchebag with dodgy hair.
I mean, all right, yes, Kent is the subject of a few jibes, but he earns everyone he gets in this film.
I miss villains being villainous or at least dislikable. Oh, Mighty Mouse. Probably not. Ah, the dry eyes. Yep. Edward the Black Prince is correct. One of the perks of 80s and even some 70s characters had more character. Not everyone was the same cutout.
Exactly. And Onzi asking, when are we going to do Weird Science as a watch party? It was done many months ago at the start as an audio-only watch party, but I think we can revisit it at some point. I'll put it on the infamous list. Dom is aware of the infamous schedule for most of the rest of the year. I can't say a lot of what's on it, but there's some good stuff coming up for you guys. And this strange man, John Grise, who's just a wonderful actor. I love John Grise and everything. I think my favorite role for him is Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite. It's time to start setting up some Home Alone-esque traps.
Mad Matt's saying John Grise is well known to watch parties. He is. He was in this. He was in. Well, he's been in a lot of things. He was in Monster Squad. I think it was Fright Night 2. He was in a lot of our things we've done.
Ah, TerraVision.
Oh, and TerraVision as well, yeah.
Another classic movie that deserves to be in the annals of cinematic history.
Sharon saying, hi, Jordan, come to the men's room often.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't, you know what, though? I like a character because there's no malice in what she's doing. There's nothing to embarrass him, or it's just in her mind. It's just, I'm just talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, Sharon. I absolutely adore Jordan in this film. I think every character in this film is lovely. I love him with his mad slippers.
I'm not going to show you my slippers because that equally is insane. Oh, I hate that recurring dream.
I love this. It's brilliant.
Oh, yep. To have that rapid, rapier sharp wit.
Oh, it is, isn't it? It's just, oh, the soundtrack again. This is just such a great soundtrack.
It's pleasant.
Yeah, it's just lots of really great 80s kind of music. This is on my phone in my iTunes collection. I often listen to this soundtrack in the car.
I'm going to add it to my collection. This sounds just, it is the vibe I wish I could just have a soundtrack to my life. Just to
there's a lot more in it as well, like this. It just gets great.
And again, the concept, a man goes into a closet every night and extracts himself, but there's nothing sinister about it. And no one thinks it's sinister. They're just like, weird.
Yeah,
huh?
It's fine.
Interesting.
I think I've actually seen this as a real thing somewhere.
Probably.
A thing that turns book pages.
That'd be useful for piano players.
It would be. Yes, James, there are goldfish in their water fountain. Why not? Now, that would be quite a rare car for in America. That's a Citroen, which is a French car, which they not very common in America. We can see though Chris isn't threatened by Mitch at all. He's kind of bonding with him, and they just work together. He's cool with it.
Favorite 80s soundtrack?
Yeah.
Sparky John is asking the pair of us.
Oh, look at that. Oh, and he bumps into the mysterious closet man who picks the papers up, kindly hands them to him, and walks off. Oh, favorite 80s soundtrack. Oh, it's hard to say. I've got so many.
The Lost Boys for me.
Lost Boys is tremendous. Top Gun is a great soundtrack. It depends what mood I'm in. Exactly, Edward. Edward, that's a really good point about Kent. Kent is a bully, where he'd get his ass kicked everywhere else.
Yeah, he's in a very unique environment to be a bully.
Is Kent damaged in that way? Is it because he's being downtrodden and kicked so much he's turned into the bully?
It's also his father figure that's bullying him as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Is there a story of Kent before this that shows how he's been treated growing up? And he thinks the only way to survive is to push back.
We need to get the prequel greenlit.
Any more Real Genius I'm up for. This is... Oh, Onzi says, Ghostbusters, Never-Ending Story, Goonies. There's just...
The Transformers, the movie soundtrack is phenomenal as well.
Oh, it is. It is. Stan Bush. I've got a lot of Stan Bush albums.
Even if it made me cry as a wee one. That damn movie.
Well, interestingly, when we watched Transformers the movie, we had Vince DiCola, who wrote the score. He wrote all the synth music to the movie. He also wrote the track Dare for Transformers movie. And he said to us that he actually wrote all that just from some storyboards, not having seen any of the movie. So I think he did a tremendous job.
It could be that music influenced some of the story as well. That happens with a lot of creatives, I think, where the entire process just forms a life of its own.
Well, I tell you what, there's something, I've just come up with a great idea, and I'm going to create it in our new Discord. Later on, I'm going to create a room for your playlists. And what I want everyone to do is, I want you to create Spotify or iTunes or Apple Music or YouTube playlists and link them in there for these 80s movies. Make your own ultimate playlist for us and share them with the community. It'd be fantastic. Great one from Sparky John, which is Electric Dreams. That's a really good soundtrack.
See, this is the part of university you missed out on, Andrew. Finding the secret laboratories in the basements of the dormitory rooms. It was always my favorite part of uni, was stumbling across some Indiana Jones-esque train.
Yes. But that's what's great about the 80s films, this kind of suspension of reality.
Yeah, because this kind of stuff just happened in 80s movies and we accepted it. I wonder why we forgot to make movies fun.
This is fun. But I mean, I can imagine that the university being such a big building would necessarily have tunnels for steam pipes and things. They've just put there. If we're explaining within the universe, there wouldn't probably be corridors and steam pipes and things, you know, for supporting it. I mean, actually, many years ago when I worked in a big council office, in a city. There was a complete downstairs maze of corridors, very much like this, to support all the upper building, and it was very cool actually going through everything. Now there's a
the screensaver.
Oh, you can see he's abusing his position as well. He's got his students doing his gardening.
Yeah. That's my mentality about running as well. Who hates popcorn? Yeah, that's where you know he's evil.
I just love the fact he just drops it on the porch. He doesn't even put it neatly. So
we try.
This film is such a quote fest. It really is.
I'm adding some of these to my repertoire. I fully intend on using half of these quips.
I can see that Icy Matty's posted a load of photos of his Centurion knockoffs. So the top one is Max Ray, the middle one is Ace McLeod, and the bottom one is Jake Rockwell, rugged land specialist. So I see, if they release the further two Centurions, Rex Charger and I forget the name of the other one, Night Wolf or something. It was a Native American one. I know my Centurions.
You do? I love how proud he is of everything apart from distracting Mitch.
What have we seen previously in this film to do with lasers that could be influencing a private company to pay the top science professor to expedite the production of what appears to be some kind of laser that isn't firing at sufficient power? How could these two events be connected in the film?
I don't think they can. Two completely separate events. That's definitely not a clear example of Chekhov's gun.
I love the fact he's just wearing a chef's hat for no reason.
Why not? Cooking is a science, after all.
I don't know, that yogurt's got very strange consistency. I don't know if it looks more like Pepto-Bismol.
Probably was. Yes, the science of using little concrete bricks to prop things up.
Yep. Again, you're seeing that Mitch is clever, but I think Chris is on another level to all of them. Everything's so effortless to him, really.
Yeah.
Lasers are always cool, aren't they?
They always are, regardless of context.
Yeah.
And like he's preset all of this up as well.
Yeah. And I'm about to say now,
level.
if you think the soundtrack's great, it's about to go up a notch.
Sharks with laser beams on their heads. Yeah. See, laser beams make everything cooler.
Oh, this is such an 80s thing where you'd have like text being drawn by lasers.
All right, so how many people watched this, then went to university and were horrifyingly disappointed?
Yeah, that it wasn't anything like this. But it's kind of, what's really kind of cool is as well, these are all beauticians and models, all these incredibly attractive women, yet they're happy to go to a party with a bunch of nerds, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It gives hope to nerds as well that, that everyone can have some fun.
Exactly. Fun is not limited to the top 1%.
Exactly. I'd love to have gone to this party. Sharon's saying, well, some parties at college were wild, just not like this. We never had lasers. Did you go to the wrong party, Sharon? or the wrong college, even? Maybe you should have gone to a college with lasers. That slide, they've got that inflatable slide, I think is actually an emergency escape slide off a plane.
On a plane, yeah.
You've got creepy Kent, who just isolates himself from everyone for no reason.
And lurks and leers.
Oh, I can see David can't join us for today's watch party. I just want to say hi to everyone. Hi, David. Well, hopefully you can catch up with us. This will be on YouTube. I love the fact as well that the professor's got a show that's almost very similar to Peter Venkman's kind of cable access show in Ghostbusters 2.
Everything.
And this is a very alien thing to the Brits here. This is sort of public access local TV from America from the 80s, where anyone really could contact a local station and produce some content for the show. It was almost a YouTube of the 80s. It was not something we had very much of in the UK, though.
How? How didn't you know, Kent? You're sitting in front of this giant machine.
Kent's oblivious. There we go. More great music.
Utter snitch.
Oh, I'd love to go to this party.
How are they not getting electrocuted? That's a good point.
Maybe Sparky Johnny's posted a photo of Clark Kent and Kent from the film. Oh, this is brilliant. Love the fact she goes to the party doing her quirky stuff, but no one's judging her. No one thinks anything wrong with what she's doing.
I mean, look at the attire and the what everyone else is doing as well.
Yeah, everyone's just having fun, getting on with it. No one's being nasty.
Yeah. I mean, that guy's in scuba gear with flippers.
Why not? Eh?
Oh.
Yeah, Sharon, exactly. I can imagine Jordan's brain just working faster than she can keep up. I know exactly what that gets like sometimes. Sometimes your mind goes and you start gibberish, you start to go fast, you can't get the words out quick enough, and something like that. I have to control myself quite a lot on these watch parties because my wife often shouts at me that, Andrew, you're talking too fast, we're going too fast.
You're talking too British fast.
Too British fast.
Oh,
yeah.
we could really confuse everybody by going hyper speed English.
Oh no, we best not.
No one would understand us.
I would say, who's going to have the unfortunate job of clearing that auditorium afterwards? Considering it's actually got a pool, a fountain, and sand, and possibly a barbecue. I think somewhere.
It's not going to be fun.
No.
Cleanup never is.
Mm-hmm.
They're bullying a 15-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they're threatened. Well, Kent's the ringleader, but they're threatened by him.
Yeah.
And this where he shows he is. Maybe this shows where he is 15.
Yeah. He is a kid.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole thing about growing. It's the whole thing about growing up, isn't it? It's only 5 years between being 13 and 18. And I mean, especially with this prestigious university, there's actually a really interesting thing in the IT sort of world this is similar to. Do you know one of the best and worst companies to work for in the computer world is Google?
I can imagine. My wife keeps trying to apply there and I keep telling her no, don't.
It's supposed to be, from the people who do work there, it's incredibly good, but the benefits of the staff are good, the money is good, all that kind of stuff. And it's very prestigious working there. However, it's constantly trying to be the cream on the top of the milk.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's incredibly fierce working for them.
No time to relax.
Yeah, because it's always about having to innovate, be the next best thing. And it's about trying to be a star in a galaxy of stars, which is very much kind of the experience I think he's got here, especially being younger. He's 15. He's gone to this university. He's been picked because he's so superior to everyone. So everyone is looking to knock him down, as well as, yeah, because he's a threat. the thing.
He has much more to prove, even though his presence alone is proof that he belongs there.
Yeah.
That kind of pressure must really suck.
Please don't be drinking the fish water.
He is. There's a huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I think as well, this film is good for anyone who relates to being a bit different in school, going through those things. I mean, I went to war with my IT teacher in secondary school. Literally went to war with him because I knew better than him. Obviously, I was an arrogant teen, but I did know better than him.
So. I understand completely. I went to war with my media studies teacher based on how 80s horror films are more than just trash for teenagers to get off to. And I wish I could send him a copy of In Search of Darkness with my name on it, because he told me to come back when I made my own movie and then I can have an opinion.
I send him all 3 posters.
Yeah.
Mm. It's almost like 3 generations of the same person. We've got Laszlo in the cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Chris in the middle, and a Mitch, the youngest. And it's like the path that they'll go down. And he's trying to. It's kind of like a cool bigger brother kind of dynamic he's got with him.
For sure. And I think a lot of people do forget that there is a very important part to having fun, to letting your mind decompress and de-stress.
Oh, definitely.
Especially going from, elementary school to middle school to high school to university.
Mm.
It's when you're smart, it's just stress on top of stress, and you have to keep doing better. When do you get to relax and have fun? When you're an adult, you don't get to do that anymore. It's when you're a kid you get to do that kind of stuff. And we're putting so much pressure on kids these days to overachieve and overperform.
I do love this. I love this prank. And this reminds me of something that happened when I went to a sixth form college in the UK. Not quite as bad as that, but the rugby team, and it was terrible what they did. But so in the UK, for those who aren't British, we play rugby, which is like very similar to American football, but they don't wear any body pads. So it's to be sort of similar kind of the muscly kind of very big guys who play it. Unfortunately, they bullied, and it was quite terrible. They bullied one guy who drove to college every day in his very small car. And in the UK, we have what are called terraced houses, which are a row of like townhouses, and like townhouses were all in a row, and they don't have a lot. They have like a garden at the front, but you don't have like a driveway with them. And the rugby team lifted his car over the wall into the front garden of a house with no driveway.
They lifted his car?
Yes.
I'd be impressed. Irritated, naturally, but I'd be impressed.
Yeah. So they lifted his car into a place where it couldn't be driven out, and they had to get a crane to get his car back out.
Oh.
Icy Matty, it's not that small a car. I mean, Icy Matty's saying it's a French car. It's small. It's not that small. Yes, compared to some, but it's
compared to most American cars, I imagine, is.
That was a Citroen DS21.
That looks like the most serene balcony you could ever be in. That looks just relaxing.
It's got a big rip in the shoulder of that shirt.
It's the style these days. I do like how they both are helping each other.
Just to say that a 5 megawatt laser, by today's standards, you can buy a 5 megawatt laser on Amazon as a laser pointer.
Can you vaporize human beings from space with one?
No, but some of the lasers, you can buy lasers that have enough power in them that you can set fire to things. My wife won't let me have one.
I wonder why. Ah, yes, the 1.2 gigawatts. Is he purposefully mimicking Kent's outfit?
I think he's just going to wind Kent up. Oh no, he's still got his kooky slippers on. Well, at least we know now how they got the goldfish in there. At least,
yeah,
the hole in the top of the bottle.
I do like that subtle nod, though. He will play the game, but he'll still maintain his personality throughout it.
That's it. There's a lot of turning. There's a lot of sort of screwdriving stuff on this whatever they're building constantly. On the top.
Well, like with Doctor Who, everything is solved with the screwdriver. I'm sure that one's Sonic, but
I think one of the reasons I didn't want to go to university was because I wanted to go to 80s American university as depicted in the films.
Yeah, it's depressing when you realize it's not like that. Although that kind of event happens frequently in universities, in my experience.
Mad Matt's saying the dot matrix printout sheets mean computer listing paper, as it was called back then. Leanne, we're just coming up to 1 hour into the movie.
Yeah, 59, 1 hour, around that mark. I love he's got baseball pitcher's body armor on. Ah, yes. Animal House.
Oh.
Are those they?
I mean, Sparkshine just said this is based on a true thing that happened in a university, some students. However, if we assume a stamp costs, unless it's free post, costs 25 cents back then, which of course stamp is more than now, and he's entered over 1 million times, he spent $250,000 on stamps at least.
Unless he's fabricating his own, destroying the stamp collecting economy.
Possibly.
That's a statement I can get behind. That's a statement. So that's a motivation I can get behind.
This is inappropriate.
Not old enough.
Not old. No, he's 15.
Nope.
15.
Oh God. Who doesn't sand the floor?
She's just refinishing her room's floor at like midnight.
I like how her room is very like workhorse orientated. Everything is like physical, not metaphysical like the other two's room. It's space themed and all these weird shenanigans going on, but hers is very...
It's more like a workshop.
Yeah. The other side of science, the very
mechanical,
finite, definite mechanical. Thank you. That was the word that my brain was struggling to find. The very mechanical side of it. It says a lot about her character and how she functions.
Well, if you look even in her room, it's quite nice. The thing they're inferring is the lighting in her room. She doesn't have a normal lamp. That's a work lamp for working on vehicles or engineering projects. Yeah, that she's 19, he's 15. I'll allow it.
Yeah, it's less creepy. I didn't know the age of the other lass. I imagine it was older than 19, though. The irony that he's in the same situation that he's putting Chris in, and he doesn't seem to have any...
Yeah, he's just kicking down with his...
Yep.
He's kicking down with his unhappiness.
Much like Kent.
Yep.
If he sabotages something, I swear to God, you...
I'm not being funny. If I was planning to sabotage a piece of equipment in front of some super geniuses, I wouldn't do it with something that left my fingerprints there.
Also, incriminating yourself by saying, oh yeah, you guys leave me alone with this kit.
Yep. Oh, pencil toppers. I remember pencil toppers in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, that's confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Apple for the teacher.
Uh-huh.
Well, last year appears to be wearing a lead vest or something like they would with X-rays.
Mm.
And he's wearing proper goggles and a face shield. He's Yeah. Mm.
What, Sharon, your apples didn't explode? Oh, wait, no, it's only Samsungs that explode.
Ha ha ha. Actually, I was flying back from Mexico to the UK when all that was happening with the Samsung phones that were notoriously exploding. And they had a booth in Cancun airport with Samsung there, who, no matter where you were going in the world, they'd take your phone off you before going on the flight and give you a voucher to get a replacement phone on the other end.
Phone voucher. I've been there, Chris. I've been there.
Well, you've had your liquid nitrogen tube fall out the freezer.
It's the worst.
Yes.
You can't get it back into the tube proper.
Yeah.
I've also been there. You want to see a demonstration of gravity?
Yeah.
It's like the classic. Do you want to play 52 card pickup?
Oh.
Yeah.
Exam week decompression.
Ah, yes, thank you. I deserve the bad gag award. Oof. Sparky John's aiming for my award of bad gags.
So, I mean, this is Chris really showing how clever he is
and
how he's ahead of everyone when he wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he's being serious now. He's actually asking Kent to do something properly for him.
Mm.
And speaking to him like, I don't absolutely hate your guts.
Mr. Freeze. Ah, yes, purple. The ultimate laser color.
Yeah, that did what they wanted.
And the poor pizza delivery guy that had his left arm eviscerated in the process.
Yeah. Sparky John saying, this reminds me of the scene in the film The Core. Well, I think probably The Core may have borrowed something from this. Mm.
Yes, you're a good little grunt, but you've not done what needed to be done.
No. Wow.
I was joking about someone being slightly eviscerated, but apparently it happened.
The really dark version of this film where someone's car exploded in the car park or something.
Limbo Burgers.
Yep. Well, it's the restaurant's called Purgatory, or the bar.
Burger sounds good right now.
Oh, that looks like a fun bar.
Oh, this
well,
is the most 80s bar. Yeah.
And you got a guy break dancing behind them.
When's Arnie going to turn up and demand someone's clothes?
I think so.
How do you know?
Well, assuming they are, I don't know how old Chris would be, I guess. He's supposed to be, if he's over 21, because he's drinking beer.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm. Philosophy. He's become what he was telling.
Yep.
Mitch,
Mitch is drinking a milkshake, but the other guys are drinking beer.
They're amazing shorts as well.
They are.
Mm. Philosophy is needed with outcome, Chris.
It's the old quote from Jurassic Park. They were too busy thinking if they could do it.
And not should they.
Should they do it?
I was going to find a totally different Jeff Goldblum quote to fling at you like a life finds a way.
But that's the thing. They didn't build this with bad intentions in mind.
No.
But unfortunately, their brilliant invention has been, and their genius has been perverted into doing something terrible.
used by the dark side of science.
Oh, this is just... It's pretty good that they've all got portable sort of breathing apparatus. And, well, then again, actually, I'll say I can imagine they would have all this breathing apparatus handy, because if they've got chemicals in the lab, they would have possibly this kind of stuff on hand if it's a science school.
If they can find an emergency slide from an airplane, finding gas canisters of nitrous, laughing gas, whatever it was.
No. I mean, what they're wearing, they look to be some kind of evacuation. Yes, but this is awesome.
Is it safe?
What they're actually doing now is what's called bone conduction, which is what you get with you get headphones that do this now.
Incredible. That must be horrifying.
You can even see from Kent's room, it's as dull and boring as he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, Matt, that's right. Bone phone. That was an early version of bone conduction. Now you can get bone conduction. It's a lot smaller than what looks like a life preserver around your neck.
Really? Bone phone? That was what they came up with? That went through marketing, and they were like, that sounds good.
Yep.
Oof.
What I want to know is what's gone on in Kent's room?
With the oil?
Oh, is that supposed to be from earlier in the film that he was trying to wipe the oil, but he didn't have that much oil on his hand?
They had to remove his car.
It's the car. It's the car. Yeah. It's from the car. And there's an oil patch on the carpet.
Yeah.
That'll be why. It's got some nice little bits in it.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I wanted my X-ray glasses and sea monkeys to be real as well.
This is absolutely incredible with what we're coming up to. I think I still probably would notice a motorcycle jumping up behind me when I was driving my car.
I like to think I would.
I hope I would. And that's a thing I notice as well now, just a personal note. The character's driving a BMW 3 Series from the 80s. It's basically the same colour as my BMW 3 Series that I drive. It's amazing how much bigger cars have become since the 80s. We just see that car driving up the road, and it's like my car's significantly larger than that now, yet it's the same car. It's just over the years, things have grown so much.
It's crazy. I mean, human beings have. When I went to Anne Frank's home with a school trip, I had to duck everywhere, and I am not a tall person. I am a measly 5'9". Ducking is not normal for me. I don't have to duck to enter places. But it's crazy how human beings over the years have just grown.
Everything's just grown, hasn't it? Oh.
apart from technology, it's getting smaller again. No, we're back in the phase of things being bigger. Like our phones are getting large again.
Yep.
Because technology is apparently cyclical.
Well, I'll say I appreciate he's trying to brute force. Okay, so putting my computer nerd hat on, the language he's speaking to the modem there is AT, and you can see it's the AT command set that modems used, and the command was ATDT. ATDT means AT is the command going to the modem, so you always prefix the command with AT, and DT means dial tone, and then there was a number after it, so it was AT, dial tone, so rather than pulse dialing, send the dial tones, and it would dial the beep beep numbers. So anyway, and what he was trying to do there, we could see the passwords. He was using some software. It's quite accurately what he was trying to do. And nowadays, things don't where he's trying to brute force the password. You can see the password he's trying to guess for that logon was AAA, AAAB, etc. It's trying to brute force and guess them. It's now why systems have like 5 attempts to get your password before your account becomes locked.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm very happy that it's accurate and it doesn't bring attention to it. Like when movies try to bring attention to it, I'm hacking the mainframe, and they do that kind of nonsense. It always just disappoints.
That was very accurate.
That's good to know. That terrible mustache actually has aged him quite a bit. It does make him look significantly older. Nicest military individual ever.
Yeah.
I have a face that wouldn't get away with that. Apparently, anyone in authority looks at me and despises me. Cops everywhere, people on airplanes, immigration, they always pick me out of the crowds to name, shame, and bully. So this kind of, oh God, hack the planet, hackers.
Well, Ons, you just said something very true there. It's something called 2FA authentication. Yeah. So whereby you have an extra app or something on your phone that, as well as your password, you have to provide some kind of other credential as well. I just put my general IT hat on, aside from all this stuff. Anyone who does it, if your account supports MFA or 2FA, as it's called, do it, because it's the best way you can try and make your accounts secure.
Yep. I have it on everything I possibly can.
I do.
And the amount of times I get notified that, I don't know, someone is trying to buy something on my Amazon account, and I text my wife, "You buying something?" And she says, "Yeah." Makes me feel better, more secure.
He was about to ask him, why is there a 15-year-old boy with a manly
with a
Tom Selleck
mustache
in here with us?
God, this is a good soundtrack.
It is. It's great.
And I like that everyone worked together to get this problem solved. Like, but we're with our protagonists, Mitch and Chris here, but without all their buddies, they wouldn't have got here.
That is actually a chip puller he's using. That's a real device. It's a ROM. They're pulling ROM chips out. And that was a ROM programmer they dropped it into. So it's all very realistic.
It's giving me horrible flashbacks to like GPUs and bending the connectors on it, and having really expensive kit not work in your PC anymore. Yeah, any sci-fi movie that has accurate science gets extra bonus points in my book.
Yep, they are proper ROM chips. But it's I suppose it's easier than creating something that looks too fantastical.
Yeah.
Oh, they're reprogramming the coordinates.
Yes, I know where it's going.
Mad Matter chip puller is nice, but a flat blade screwdriver is more readily handy. Yeah, but they weren't properly equipped for the job they were doing, and you should really use a chip puller rather than a flat blade because it's difficult to apply even pressure with a flat blade screwdriver. I mean, I'm so sad. I've even got just here in my office. I don't know if you can see this on camera. In my hand. This. Can anyone? Oh, camera. Sorry. Can anyone tell me what this is?
You have that to hand?
I have a lot of strange stuff in my office to hand. A lot of computer equipment and computery things to hand.
I'll show you what I have.
That's right. Eric's right. It's a key puller for a keyboard.
I have a stress ball skull and a plaque that says "Trophy Husband."
No. I mean, I can go over
my
here.
office is far less interesting than yours.
A computer motherboard with processor and memory in it. I've got everything. Just I work in computers and stuff. I have everything just to hand. Just to hand. Two SSD drives just there on my desk.
And I have a coin of where I survived the Blair Witch Project escape room.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of crazy stuff here.
We are two different men, you and I.
We are indeed. We are indeed.
Nothing quite like borrowing on.
Sharon wants to know what's the
have in your office. Okay.
Weirdest thing I've got in my office. Two things to hand. Not really connected. I have a jar of gobstoppers my wife bought me at Christmas, which are enormous and big enough to break your teeth on. And unfortunately, a bottle of pet odor remover because my cat had a little accident in here the other day.
Oh.
So.
Snap! I've got a bottle of that too.
Oh, there we go.
We're two different individuals and yet we align.
He's wearing a cut-off.
I think he's trying to find out where he's hearing this noise from.
He's wearing it's a fashion thing. I forget the name of it. So what he's wearing is it's not you don't
neck.
Basically it makes so when your shirt's buttoned up. When we talk about layers, he's got going on there. He's got a t-shirt, a lumberjack shirt, and a cardigan, but he's got the yellow thing. It's like cut off. It's just the neck and the bit there, and it's a It's just basically it makes you look like you're wearing a big thick polo neck knitted jumper.
Yeah. I love that that's a thing. But I suppose apart from the odor remover, the weirdest thing I have in here is going to be a coffin-shaped box filled with Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
Wow. One day when I get my office tidied up, I will take some photos and you can see all the stuff that makes the watch parties happen.
The setup, you're pulling back the curtain.
Yeah. Oh. They've brought
Van Helsing from Saturday the 14th. As someone in the chat pointed out earlier, I do apologize. I can't remember who it was, and I will not scroll back that far to find who you are.
Spaghetti, my office gets cleaned every week or whatever, gets vacuumed and dusted and stuff. It's got so much stuff in here, it needs everything to be. But going back to the movie, we can see there's a kindred spirit in sort of that professor who's come out, that he's wearing the fluffy slippers, very much like Chris.
Yeah. Like you said, generations of scientists who've learned to adapt in the world, learned to have fun in their life, but still work within the system.
And again, this is quite interesting. We're effectively seeing a drone flying around here.
And again, he's set everything up. The dominoes are in place. All he's waiting for is for someone to flick that first domino.
Yep. It may be scientifically inaccurate, but it's brilliant. I love this scene. Kent, don't Kent, don't Sharon, don't tell Kent to go in the house.
I am on board with Sharon. I don't like him. Oh, Mad Man, that's a wonderful desk. Oh, the stickers. Okay, I'm going to be obsessively looking at these for a bit.
Well, they don't like him, but they don't want him to get hurt. I mean, potentially what could happen now could hurt him. I love the fact that he chose not to really set his house on fire or anything crazy like that.
Ah, yes.
The thing Jerry hates.
And his house is just filled with it. Yeah.
This is such an 80s thing to happen, and it's wonderful. This is what I love about the 80s. They're using technology to turn a luxury posh house into a giant popcorn popper.
Oh, beautiful. That's an impressive jump from Val there.
Oh, it is.
I think he was trained in dancing, though, so he's probably doing jumps like that all the time.
And now we see they sabotage the laser as well after that one shot.
Yep. Wasn't that military personnel that fired the shot?
I don't know, no, because it was all programmed, wasn't it? It's
the slow realization.
This is what the 80s is, isn't it? This is what the 80s should be. Just fun.
Yeah. A house full of popcorn. So you want to win a bagel.
And it's full of prizes if you look. He's got video recorders and things in there as well. Trainers. She's wearing a wedding ring on her hat. Oh, an engagement. He said he's getting married.
Yeah.
She's wearing an engagement ring.
See, that's.
I'll pick that
nice.
question up in just a moment, Sparky John, that you asked, and I think it's a really interesting point. We'll discuss with the community in a minute. So we come to the end of this wonderful, wonderful, fun 80s ending to a film.
Mm-hmm. I kind of want to jump around in large quantities of popcorn now.
I really want some popcorn right now, and it's 10:15 at night in the UK, and I've got a popcorn popper downstairs and some nice popcorn. I really want some fresh popcorn.
It sounds like it's just begging to happen. The stars are aligned.
I know. So, as we're coming to the end of Real Genius, I just love his kids running away with their wagons full of popcorn, wheelbarrows full of it. Oh, and he's coming back now. It's like, oh my God.
Do you get popcorn insurance and laser insurance?
He's having to hold a cloth to his mouth because of the smell.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. As we're coming to the end of this fantastic film, Community, let's first off just ask the question. Dom, this is the first time you saw this film. Will you be watching it again? Will you be sharing it with your wife?
Yes, very much so. Most of my family have actually apparently already seen this, but my wife has not, so I will show her. It's a delight of a movie, just like you said.
It really is. It really is. Okay, so everyone's saying this film was excellent. I will watch it again. So community, let us know what you think of it. And Sparky John raised a very good point. Do you think modern movies, to some degree, have lost the fun factor that 80s movies had? Yes, without a
100%.
doubt. This was a small story that was a lot of fun. It is very funny, it's sweet, it's sensitive, it's not got a mean bone in its body. You can even see that even with Kent, they don't like Kent, but they aren't leaving anything bad to happen to him. They're kind of still looking after him. They're not it's not mean-spirited. Even if you look at 80s films like Police Academy, it's not like Police Academy where you see people getting eyebrows ripped off or people in actual pain or real injuries or anything like that, broken arms or nothing like that. It's just general pratfalls and a bit of fun. As Mad Matt says, I want movies to escape from reality, not revisit it. Yeah, I really agree with you there. This is a lovely, fun science fiction comedy. It's very light science fiction, but it's very, very funny. And it's so much fun, this film. I'm glad that we've shared this with all our community today. Introduce those who haven't seen it to it, and those who have to rewatch it. What a great fun time this has been. There's a lot of laser advisors who worked on this film. It's a lot of people with the name with Doctor in their name. So yeah, it's really good. So as we're coming to the end of that, it's now time to discuss next week's movie. Next week, we will be back with In Search of Darkness. And it's worth noting that, as we did tonight, all new watch parties going forward will be in the new Creative EC server. We'll be putting messages out. But yeah, and we'll be back with In Search of Darkness in 1 week. And we will be watching Extro 2.
Yay!
Because we know how much you really enjoyed Extro last time.
Exactly. And for those who didn't get a chance to watch Extra last time, we can watch it again if you'd like. No problem. More than happy to watch it again.
Okay. And I'll tell you now, we're not really watching Extro 2. I can promise you we will not be watching Extro 2. We are going to be watching Warlock, the Julian Sands classic. And I'd love to have you back, Dom, if you'd like to join us again for that.
Oh, definitely. More than
Warlock
happy to
is a tremendous film. Sharon says we can all watch Extra on our own time.
Yeah, that's the homework.
That's right. But no, we will be watching the classic Julian Sands film. I would say it's horror, but it's also it's I would say it's possibly creeping a little bit into our fantasy realm as well as movies go. It's a fantasy horror. So yes, we will be watching Warlock. We're going to have a great time with that. I'm just having so much fun. I've had a wonderful time today. I've had watching this film. We've laughed so much with just watching this. Dom, have you got any words to say about this film tonight? Anything?
This film has been a lovely, lovely movie to watch, especially after a stressful week. Having a weekend, a Sunday to watch something that's just fun and lovable.
Yep.
It's
and harmless.
Very pleasant. Exactly.
Exactly.
It's just very nice to watch. And for everyone who missed it in the beginning, Nightmare Industry is a real thing that's happening, and we all appreciate it if you had another look at it. If you have any interest in the Italian horror cinema craze in the 80s, definitely check this out.
Exactly. I've just posted the link to the page on Creative EC about it, where you can go through and have a look at that for us. But everyone, stay safe. Like I say, we'll be back in 1 week with Warlock, which I can't wait for. Until then, stay safe, be kind to each other, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
See you next.